Idolmaster 2011 is the best anime that I have watched in years. In fact, at the time of writing this, after letting it settle a bit and getting all my thoughts together, I would say that it's one of my favorite anime of all time. Yes, I am putting what I used to call idol trash on the same level as all of these incredible stories, and you can laugh at me, you can think it's questionable or weird or downright insane, but the fact of the matter is that this silly story about a bunch of idols made me laugh, cry, and smile more than any anime I've watched in a very long time, and I hope by the end of this video I can turn those faces that think I'm crazy around and at least convince you that there is a lot to love here. There is a lot that makes this series so special. I think one thing a lot of us go through as we watch more anime or dive deeper into any medium really is think to ourselves, have I run out of finding those all-time favorites, the things that stick with you for the rest of your life? And I'm happy to say that after a long time of searching, I've finally found an unexpected masterpiece. Now, Idolmaster has so many things going for it that it's hard to know where to start really, because I honestly do consider this a near perfect series, and I'm going to do my best to keep this as spoiler-free as possible because I have to imagine that a lot of you are probably like me and have never really given an idol series an honest chance before, so let's change that. To me, Idolmaster's strengths can be broken into three distinct categories. You've got the characters, you've got the storytelling, and you've got the aesthetic. Pretty simple, right? But I think I'm going to start with that last one because it's the easiest thing for somebody completely new to Idolmaster to really appreciate. Unless you've been closing your eyes the entire video, or you're blind, or you're tabbed out doing other stuff, get the hell back here. You should be able to see that the series is unbelievably expressive. This is the kind of show you watch and think about how great animation is as an art form. Everything is just so alive. It's so vibrant and full of energy. It's challenging you to look away for even a second, and this comes down to a lot of things. Animation, direction, storyboarding, character designs. Oh my god, the character designs in this series are superb. They're so good, and yet they're so simple in a way that really lets the animators mold them into whatever they need to be for a specific scene or tone. And look, I get it, not everyone cares about the technical aspects of animation the way that I do, but this isn't superficial, okay? The visuals of this series actively elevate every other part of it. The comedy, the drama, the extensive, frequent hand-animated dance sequences. None of these would be as enjoyable if they weren't propped up by this staff who are clearly passionate about the material that they're working on. There's not a single dull-looking episode, scene, or shot in this entire show. So maybe this one. And that kind of segues into the next thing that Idolmaster just knocks out of the park in every conceivable way. The story, man. The goddamn story. You can look at me like I'm crazy all you want, but the way the story is handled in Idolmaster is genuinely what I would consider near perfect in execution on my own personal standards. And I already know it's going to be extremely difficult to convince you of that without getting into spoilers or super specifics, but I'm going to do my best, okay? Idolmaster operates under two kinds of storytelling. You have the fun, episodic shenanigans stories where they're on a talk show or fighting goons in a wedding outfit, but you also have the overarching stories about the actual rise of these idols that are unfolding in the background. It's not anything revolutionary, but it's the way that these two elements synergize with each other that really makes them so special. There is no moment in this series where you're waiting for something to happen. You're not waiting for them to plot some storyline out or for a character to reach a point in their arc, because it's always just happening. It's always going on seamlessly in the background of these incredibly fun episodic adventures. Characters are getting fleshed out, dynamics are being built, themes and storylines are coalescing into these beautiful moments, and it's all happening while you're just having a blast with these girls. Everything is feeding into each other in a way that feels so tight and so laser focused. It's just the best, man. It's so well done, and it's so hard to communicate why it's so well done, but it's also something that you, or or at least I, didn't really fully appreciate until towards the end of the series, where everything that was being built up subtly over the course of the show really culminates into these incredible, dare I say masterful, last 2 arcs of the story. I will not spoil anything. I will not even whisper a thing about these arcs, but I will say that they are what pushed this series into my all-time favorites and why I'm even making a video on it right now in the first place. For me, this is the kind of story that only gets better when rewatching and rethinking about the series and noticing how many things were set up thematically beforehand, how many things would end up being paid off by the end, how much I love these characters and how they grow and how their interactions change, and just how fun these stories are to watch even after you've already watched them. And all of that kind of ties into another aspect that really makes this story work so well, and that is the structure. The Idolmaster is a 26 episode series separated into 2 distinct cores, and what you may or may not pick up on while watching is that both halves of Idolmaster have a very clear purpose. They're written and plotted in a very deliberate way that I'm trying my best to tiptoe around without spoiling anything. All of those episodic stories, all of the overarching development, everything feels like it's contributing to the transparent goals of each half of the show, and it's what ends up giving the final 2 arcs that ultimate sense of payoff and legitimacy. I rewatched that first episode, that amazing first episode, and I'm smiling and crying at things I wasn't even thinking about the first time I watched it because I know where everything is going to lead. It's kind of surprising to me that the man behind Darling in the Franxx of all things created such a well-plotted, well-structured story like Idolmaster 2011, but I feel his love here, man, and I cannot respect him enough for all of the work that he did on this series. I mean, look at this position list. Look at the staff positions he took on. He had a hand in almost every creative outlet on this show. He was dedicated for sure, and you can see that. But of course, a story is only as good as the characters who drive it, and I feel like this might be the biggest gate blocking people from getting into this series because there are a lot of characters and there is a lot of moe in a way that might turn somebody off in the beginning. All I can say is that this is one of, if not the best and most balanced use of an ensemble cast in an anime that I have ever seen, and you will be rewarded and connected to pretty much every single one of them by the end of the series. And to help you out a little bit, I've prepared a little primer just to get you started. I hope you have your pen and paper because here we go. This is Haruka. She's the best girl you won't realize is the best girl until it sneaks up on you. She's fun, considerate, and always nice to be around. This is Makoto. She's the tomboy cool one that doesn't actually want to be the tomboy cool one, and any episode focusing on her is immediately great, partially because she's also coincidentally involved in the most action sequences. This is Ritsuko. She's the idol turned producer who guides all of the girls underneath her, but you can also tell she's shouldering a large burden despite not being that much older than some of the others. This is Ami and Mami. They're the mischief makers, but also the ones that keep every scene alive with their fun shenanigans and duo comedy. You can remember who is who by knowing that Ami has the pineapple hair and Mami has the long straight hair. This is Hibiki. She's the athletic one that also happens to take care of an entire zoo of animals. She's ginky and fun, but can also be really thoughtless sometimes. This is Yukiho. She's the shy and timid one, but also has a weird fixation on digging holes, both when she's nervous and when she's not nervous. This is Iori, the kind of stuck-up but not overly stuck-up rich girl who secretly loves everyone she works with and wants to step out of the shadow of her family's identity. This is Yayoi, the not-so-rich girl who leads her family and wants to become an idol to support them. Also, she's my daughter and makes this noise occasionally. This is Chihaya, the slightly stoic one that you can tell has a deep history and also the one with the best singing voice. You will probably be listening to her songs the most after you finish this series. This is Azusa, the oldest and also ditziest, clumsiest one that has a sense of direction that rivals Roronoa Zoro's. This is Takane, the chuny special one that takes a bit to really understand, and also I'm pretty sure that she's an alien. This is Miki and she's the actual best one. No further comments are necessary. All of that was off the top of my head, and I really do think that these characters leave an impression on you in a way that you would be surprised by first entering the show. What I love most about this cast, though, is how much camaraderie there is between everyone, the wholesome and not so wholesome interactions they have, and how it always leads to a satisfying development or an impactful message. I love the different cliques and units all of them make with each other, the age differences, and how that influences their relationships, and also the fact that we just start. We start in the middle of all of these dynamics without needing to spend so much pointless time having everyone meet each other. I'm looking at you, Cinderella girls. This is another thing that just makes the series immediately fun to watch and rewatch because you don't need to spend all that time plotting things out. This story works for the better coming in midway through. That isn't to say that there isn't development or that relationships don't still change. It just takes out the boring, predictable process of getting all of these characters together and leaves it up to you as an audience member to really figure out all of their relationships through the way that they interact. And all of that isn't even getting into producer-san. My heart, my soul belongs to this man. He is probably the best central character you could possibly have to tie all of these girls together and drive home a lot of the messages and themes of every episode. The Idolmaster 2011 is an incredibly special series. I'm honestly falling in love with it all over again just talking about this stuff, and yet I still feel like I'm not even scratching the surface of everything that makes this series so great. The music, as you would hope, is awesome, and even better if you look into some of the games, and I honestly feel like my personal Idolmaster experience was just seeing people that I recognize working on various songs in the show and going, oh my god, is that the motherfucking Demon Slayer composer working on this Chihaya song? Hold up, I need to look up this full track. Oh my god! Seriously, if you just want to hear the kinds of heights the music can reach, look up Nemuri Hime or literally any other song that Go Shina has made for Idolmaster, and there are a lot. I don't think you'll be disappointed. If we're just talking about random things I love about this series, how about those fake movie trailers they make? You can tell all of the voice actors and writers and animators, hell, even the in-universe characters themselves are just having a blast with these things behind the scenes. The stories, the sheer variety of topics and tones these shenanigan-filled stories investigate is wild. There is not a single, I am not even joking here, there is not a single school setting in this entire series. Can you believe that? I don't think you can believe that because I wouldn't have believed it going in. I know this is getting pretty incoherent at this point, but I really feel like I can't do justice to how I feel about this anime, this franchise right now. And I don't think I'll be able to do justice to it for a very long time. And yet, despite all that, I just wanted to talk about it, man. I wanted to talk about it as soon as possible. I wanted to get other people into it, and I hope that those feelings, this passion here, still reached you in some way. And honestly, I can say that even if you don't agree with me, even if this series doesn't resonate with you the way that it does with me, it's still something that I can recommend to anyone just for the universally appealing themes, messages, and just feelings that I get from this story. It's the kind of show I'm always going to go back to when I'm feeling down, just to feel that warmth, feel that joy that the series sparks, and I think that that's going to speak to a lot of other people as well. Thank you for hearing out this long-winded jumble of passion I have for this series. Expect more Idolmaster videos in the future. I've got a lot more to say about 2011 and the movie and Cinderella Girls, so much to talk about, and if you do end up checking it out, let me know what you think of it in the comments, or on Twitter, or on Discord, because I'm super down to talk about this show with all of you. And hey, if you got that far, if you enjoy Idolmaster, if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate you sharing it around, because it not only means that I didn't just gush my heart out purely for the sake of needing to vent, but also that hopefully we can get even more people into this wonderful series as well. I love you all. I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you in the next video.